name's Bethan Newell. I'm assistant manager at the Ship Inn in Porthleven. I've lived in Porthleven 8 years. I'd say that there's a good, strong community of core locals. Obviously it gets a lot busier in the summer, but the community itself is, it's a strong community of locals.
Has it changed in the time that you've been here? If so, how has it changed?
Hugely, I'd say. When I moved on I live on Thomas Street, which used to be mainly a local street. If you talk to anyone in the village and say, I live on Thomas Street, that's generally everyone else will say, yeah, I lived there back in such and such a year. However, now I'd say there's probably only 25% of those properties that are locally owned and lived in full time. The whole top of the street is holiday homes, and I'd say that's quite similar across the board really. All the properties facing the sea with sea views, they're now holiday lets, and it's those streets that are pushed further back that are lived in by local people. My partner and I are trying to buy a house. We've been trying to buy a house for probably 3 years now. Every time we think we've got a deposit together, we look at the current property prices and it's all out of reach, which is a damn shame from my partner who's, a Porthlevener through and through. But it's the same across the board, isn't it? Really, property prices everywhere in the country are out of reach for people on an everyday wage.
It's very, very difficult to find anything. Houses are going for crazy money. In this area specifically, I bought my house 5 years ago and I was really lucky to have done so because the price of it these days, there's no way I'd be able to kind of buy that. So I come from a family from Porthleven and it has changed. I've got two older children who have both left school and I actually have a younger child now. And we actually got a letter yesterday from the school to say that they're having to rejig all the classes and kind of merge some of the classes because they can't find any teachers. And I think part of that issue is because they can't afford to live here. There's 2 properties for rent in Porthleven today. One of them is a 1-bedroom property and it's like nearly £1,000 a month, and then there's another one which is a 4-bedroom property which is nearly £2,000 a month. Yeah, second homes are an issue because it's quite difficult to see houses empty all year round when people locally can't actually find anywhere to live.
Second homes are an issue for those of us trying to buy in the county. However, they also do bring a huge amount of revenue to the county, so it's a catch-22, I guess.
Does Cornwall have a housing crisis? If it does, how can we help to fix it?
Yes, it does have a housing crisis. I think that's clear. I think in order to fix that, we would really be needing to change policy on second home ownership and holiday lets.
Yes, Cornwall has a housing crisis. I think more support from the government for first-time buyers, for young buyers. I want to say more houses, but those houses tend to be built and then are still out of reach for the everyday person. I don't know what the answer is.